Okay.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to everyone who is watching this video. So today I have another client of mine who was a part of the trauma group coaching program who inshallah is going to be sharing her experience with the program. One unique thing about this specific client is she was also a one-on-one client before entering the group, which was one of my first one-on-one clients that I ever took. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a point where I was only doing group coaching. I was not taking on one-on-one clients. So assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Thank you, Hannah, for having this call with me.
No problem. Thank you for agreeing to it. So the first question I have for you, inshallah, is what brought you to coaching? Why were you interested in coaching? What was going on that brought you to it?
Bismillah. So previously, I have been coached by a lot of people, and my last coach, she was not an Islamic-based coach or
Hmm.
like a God-conscious coach, and I felt like I was derailing, and I was you would say using other means other than Deen, and I was not integrating Deen as a part of my healing or like my go-to tools in life,
Hmm.
and I was depending on other things. And that's when I felt like, okay, I need to find someone who was God conscious, who has an Islamic framework to start with. And Alhamdulillah, one of the Ramadans, I was just praying and to find someone, and then later I found you, and I just booked with you, and yes, that's where I am.
Um, What what was going on in your life that even made you want to work with someone at all?
So I have gone through corporate burnout,
Mhm.
and and I have worked on a lot of things, but I had something missing, like a missing piece,
Mhm.
and that's when I did our one-on-one coaching, and that's when uh, uh, I entered the group coaching,
Mhm.
and that's when my healing journey really became completed,
Mhm.
and it was the exact missing piece I needed, subhanallah.
SubhanAllah. Talk to me about what your nervous system was going through at that time. I want to paint a picture for the audience because there might be some people who are, also experiencing kind of burnout fatigue from their job, from corporate, but just wondering what the link is between that and then also the trauma or the trauma-based symptoms or need for healing.
All right, so basically corporate burnout is your nervous system is completely shut down. You are always exhausted. You're exhausted mentally, emotionally, and physically. You do not have the passion you used to have.
Mhm.
You do not have the will to do anything. You just feel exhausted all the time.
Mhm.
And of course, that has its negative spiral at some point. And and what I understood also, that if you have gone through a prolonged stress for a long time, and if you had gone through certain traumatic events in your life, all of this comes up as well during that time.
Mhm.
So it's like you need to just heal your nervous system once and for all, if you get into something like this, and heal all of that root causes as well, to get out of this.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at was kind of you had that corporate burnout and the fatigue and just this complete nervous system going to shut down. But there was a lot that was already building up in your nervous system way before corporate ever even came into your life that now was finally being exposed in your nervous system, which led to this kind of journey of seeking healing, right? So once you got into the group coaching, what was the experience like? Like what you said, you felt like it was a missing piece. What does that mean for you?
Um, so, like I am someone who, like I mentioned, I worked a lot on myself, And you could say I came in 90% healed, and I was skeptical about joining the group program. In my head, I was like, okay, what is it gonna add to me at this point?
Mhm.
But surprisingly, it did add to me. I really enjoyed it. The first of all, the community sense. It's so amazing that each lady that was with us, I connected with in some way or another, or I understood something they went through, or we had something in common through our experience or what we have gone through, which is so refreshing. And on top of that, all of the ladies that were there, mashallah, they were very God conscious, and people who really wanted to work on themselves and they were ready to do this. So it was very supportive.
Mhm.
Also, the thing that your program works on, it doesn't work on the mental or emotional side, it works on the physical side. And especially if with someone who has gone through burnout fatigue, you need to work on the physical side a lot. It's not just mental or emotional.
Mhm.
And that's where that this was the missing piece for me, where I benefited a lot, where you have incorporated the somatic movements and and how you explain how burnout fatigue works is very similar to trauma. Even if someone hadn't gone through trauma, but you need to work with it on the body just like how you would work with trauma. So that everything you gave us, the tools and the somatic exercises, made a huge difference for me, and it was that click for me that I needed, that physical movement that I needed.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
subhanallah. So, like I've mentioned this in other videos before, but the body, mind, soul integration is really important. So, there's a lot that works on the body. There's a lot in the program that works on the mind, the mental and emotional side of things, the subconscious healing. Um, and then the kind of spiritual aspect and building that spiritual resilience is just weaved throughout the program to ensure that we're coming at it from a very holistic perspective. Coming out, so from the time that you came into the program, so week 1 to now the program being over for you, what has changed for you? Like what benefit did you derive from the program?
I feel more stability, more grounding. Physically, I feel more energized.
Mm,
My physical capacity has increased as well
mm,
because we did that movement through the body. The things have been processed and moved physically, and uh, and because that stability and that groundness came, that mental clarity came as well, and mental clarity in regards to life, what I want, relationship, boundaries, uh, career, all of those things. It just came in with it.
mm,
Uh, and um, and also, I used to have some physical ailments, and alhamdulillah, they are gone, which is uh, so great. I'm so grateful. Alhamdulillah.
mm,
Yeah.
mm. You say it so nonchalantly, like, I had some physical ailments and they're gone now. Without like emphasizing how crazy is that? Like people go to see doctors and chiropractors and herbalists and all of these different things. And I know you integrated some like or you did some integrative health, but to have that be gone, subhanAllah, sometimes there are just like there are certain blessings that we experience that we don't even realize how amazing it is because we live so long with it. When Allah takes
Yes.
it away, we don't sit there and realize, oh my God, how many years did I like suffer with this? And I didn't have to, subhanAllah.
Yes. Yeah, maybe it's just the way I'm talking about it now is leveling it down,
Mhm,
but it's not like this at all. It's really mind blowing. I had no idea. I had no idea that this was just stress, and it's stress that needed to be released and moved from the
mhm,
body. I had no idea that it can create such miracles,
mhm,
and it's amazing how much the body can hold stress and how much it
mhm,
can hold trauma in it. And once it's released, the potential that person can have is amazing. And I can just explain here all of this, but unless someone really experienced it, they will know what I mean when they
Hmm.
have that potential released, and when they have that when they have their strength back, and when they have certain ailments that suddenly disappear that have been there for such a long time.
Hmm.
It's a miracle.
Yeah, subhanallah. Subhanallah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it
subhanallah.
speaks. Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Yeah. So it's and it speaks to like just how much stress we take on in our lives without even realizing it because we don't connect what's physically going on in our body to the stress that we're enduring day to day. And it doesn't have to be tremendous stress. I remember someone I remember someone said something along the lines of like they believe that we endure more stress in I'm in the United States as compared to like anywhere else in the world. And I was like, that's definitely not true.
yeah,
Um, but our ability to endure may be significantly reduced because we don't have a lot of Western countries are like this. We don't have the means through which that stress can be removed from our essentially like moved through the body, right? We don't have the
yeah,
social connections, we don't have the physical activity and the movement, we don't have the mindful like integration. A lot of us are not very good about being, spiritually resilient and connecting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So many of these buffers that help reduce the amount of stress are not there, and so it just hits us and it stores in your nervous system, and then now your nervous system has to react to that. And it seems like a very kind of out of sorts idea that your nervous system can store stress and trauma, but that's literally what its job is to do. It's to keep you alive. And if it means that if you can't stop the thing that's causing damage, it's going to take it and it's going to hold on to it to make sure
yes,
that it's prepared for the next time that something happens. But then that is going to affect all of your other body systems, right? Because your nervous system is connected to all of your body systems. Your digestive system gets signals from your nervous system. Your hormone endocrine system gets signals from your nervous system. Your musculoskeletal system, every single system needs those signals to do what it needs to do. So it's
yes,
just sitting there waiting for the information to be passed, and it just does what it's told to do. And we have to reteach our nervous system, as the autonomic nervous system specifically, how to go from that fight or flight response in that deep intensity where it's holding onto the stress and trauma and giving it space to release it and teach it a new way to endure stress,
yes,
right? A more resilient, healthy, kind of whole way. Which is part of why the seeking wholeness name even came to be, is because trauma fractures you, right?
yes,
You become such a different person than who you were before trauma. Or if you've ever endured trauma, if you're someone who endured trauma all throughout your life, your identity becomes split by that. Where it's like in this space in school, I can be like this, but at home I have to be like this, and at work I have to be like this, and it's never authentically just a whole version of you.
yes, 100%. I do definitely feel whole right now. And I even said this, it was towards the last few weeks. I said, I have never felt myself like this in such a long time.
Mhm,
And another great thing is that you also have that medical background.
mhm,
So I'm sure you have helped also the other sisters in this way, where you understand how the body works, you understand uh, the hormones, you understand everything what goes on in the body, and you advise us also on based on that, and you know what you're talking about because of your medical background. So it's not just random theories. It's someone who understands
mhm,
how the body works, what happens in the body, and all of that. So that
mhm.
was greatly beneficial to me and also to the other sisters with us.
Yeah, subhanAllah. Yeah. And it's not something that we like, I advertise as part of the group, but sometimes that health coaching aspect does come in because sometimes people are coming in thinking something is trauma, but it can be an actual medical condition that has to get evaluated, right? And they don't know where to go or who to speak to or what to do. Or sometimes there are the elements, especially for women, the hormone health element that can exacerbate symptoms that has to be dealt with, right? SubhanAllah.
Yes.
So the final question for you, inshallah, or like the final two questions I'll say, is if there is a woman who is also experiencing this kind of burnout, which is essentially freeze, right? She's in freeze. Her nervous system is in freeze, feeling fatigued all the time, like not able to think straight, feeling overwhelmed from what she's experienced in life. She's thinking about the program, but she's hesitant. She doesn't know whether to apply. She doesn't know whether to do it. What would you say to her?
I would say if she has been feeling all of those things and she's feeling lost and she really wants to make a change, like really, really work on it and really learn and understand herself and what's going in her body and in her mind and on all of the levels, this program would like much benefit her because you give us the tools. So you basically teach us what's going on, how to tackle it, why it's happening. You give us the tools to do so, and you also help us to release a lot of that built up tension or stress or trauma through the program as well. So then there's only what's left is the person needs to work on those things, and they are lifelong. Um, lifelong information that can be with them, and it will help them to regulate themselves lifelong. It's it's amazing information, and most importantly, I will go back to my first point. You are someone who is God conscious, who has an Islamic framework. If someone wants to understand how to be a functioning Muslim woman, how to overcome the stresses of life as a woman, they should definitely take this program. And there's also a part which was amazing in this program where you talked about femininity and how to be more feminine as a Muslim woman. And I have, if not, I haven't, or if there is, maybe it's rare. I haven't seen anyone tackle this or talk about this from an Islamic perspective. There's a lot of uh, different ideologies out there that are very much derailing from the Islamic principles.
Mm,
But you even talked about this from an Islamic principle, mashallah, and that was so amazing. And I would really recommend you more because of those things. If someone really wants to uh, if someone who has just been guided, if it's someone who wants to be closer to God, who wants to increase their spirituality as well, who wants to use their deen in the right way to help them, to support them, this
mhm.
program is definitely for them.
Alhamdulillah. Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience and thoughts on the program. I'm going to end the interview here. Assalamu alaikum to everyone who is watching. If you're interested in this program, then you can go to the links in the description to apply, inshallah, or to see when the next cohort is going to launch and get on the waiting list. Assalamu alaikum.